I'm so happy to be here with you today. My name is Lisa, and I'm a plant-based chef and a plant-based educator, or as I like to say, a professional vegucator. So how many of you are ready to get vegucated? All right. Well, vegucating takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of energy. And I am so grateful to have my wonderful, beautiful, enthusiastic assistant, Alicia, here with me. Yes, and I also want to give a shout out to my husband, Bob. He's not here, but he works hard so that oh, there he is, Bob! Yes, he's here. Yes, Bob works hard. Bob works hard to allow me the opportunity to go and vegucate all over the Bay Area. Now, Jillian, how many of you saw Chef Jillian's demo the other day, right? Right, and she was talking about taking plant-based food to the next level, all right? So you can go and you can have vegan fried whatchamacallit with gooey veganese on it and things like that. But first of all, I want to say that in addition to being a vegucator, I'm a badass, okay? And Alicia, are you a badass too?
Oh, yes, I am.
That's right. That's right, because we realize our greatness and we want to live the most awesome life possible. And I want you to be a badass too. And I want you to have the most awesome food on the planet. And the most awesome food on the planet is whole foods, plant-based, not fried whatchamacallit with veganese on top. So are you all willing to be open to having higher vibrational plant-based food today? Yeah. All right? Okay. Right, and so the food you're going to have today has no oil in it. None. Right? Okay, and it's gluten-free. Yeah. And it's low glycemic. No agave. Woohoo! All right? So it may not be as sexy as Costco or other things like that, but this is good for you food because you are badasses. All right? So you ready to make some badass food, Alicia?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Ready to see some good food?
Yes. So we are excited about it. And everything's organic because you deserve veganic goodness, okay? That's right. That's right. So how many of you like nachos, right? Yeah, and in the olden days, we would have these nachos. We'd have these nachos with this cheese that was this gelatinous weird stuff that came from a jar. And so we're going to have Rawcho sauce. Everybody say Rawcho! Rawcho! All right. And Rawcho, guys, will make you macho, I'm telling you. That's right. Right, Alicia? Okay. All right, so to do this, you need to start off with a high-powered blender. I personally love my Blendtec, but I love my Vitamix. I love it all. I really do. And we are going to pass out recipes, but we're also going to pass around the Chef Lisa sign-in sheet. And by signing this, you get access to the Chef Lisa newsletter with information about Vegtastic events all over the Bay Area. And you want to know one of the most Vegtastic ones that's going to be happening? A very veggie Halloween with guest speaker Dr. Clapper. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes, and it's going to be at my friend Elizabeth's house in Alameda. That's right, and I'm preparing food for it. That's right, and Alicia will be there. And Marita too. That's right. And thank you for all of your help. And dancing.
In my dance studio, Dr. Clapper's going to speak.
That's right. That's right.
Come in a costume, you might win a prize.
That's right. Yeah.
It's in San Francisco or someplace.
It's in Alameda. Right. And sign the newsletter and you'll get information about that. So, Marita, you want to hand out the recipes to everyone? Just keep a copy here for Alicia. And let's make some macho Rawcho sauce, all right? Okay, woohoo, macho Rawcho. All right, so to start off with, we're going to have some red bell pepper. Red bell pepper is going to be the star of this sauce. So a lot of people say, they look at a pepper and they don't know how to cut it the right way. Do you want to learn how to cut a pepper? All right, I'll show you. All right, so the easiest way to cut your bell pepper, and by the way, this is not a green bell pepper. You want your bell peppers to be red, yellow, or orange. They are the most digestible. Green bell peppers are not ripe. So, and they can cause some stomach distress. So red is great, and that's the color of our blood, so that's a good thing, right? All right, so what we do is we just cut it off here on the end, just like this, and then you turn it on its top, like this, and then you're just going to slice down and go through the bell pepper, and look how easy that is. And now your bell pepper is ready to julienne. And because I have a little bit of compulsivity in my life, what I like to do we have my little, oh, here we have my little compost. Everybody should compost, by the way. What I like to do is I like to just go around the top and just peel a little bit of the top of the pepper. And by the way, a bell pepper has more vitamin C than an orange. So eat your bell peppers, everybody, right? Okay, that's great. And so we've already cut up our bell peppers, and we are going to put them in here, and I'm going to make a double batch. And on the recipe, it says 1 bell pepper, but we've got a lot of macho Rawcho people to feed, so I'm going to put in some extra bell pepper, and believe me, it's not going to hurt anything. Next, because we're making a cheese, we need to have a lemon. So this is not a plastic lemon, by the way. So if you have plastic lemons in your house, please get rid of the plastic lemons. So Alicia and I will dual demonstrate our lemon skills, right? So take it in your dominant hand.
We're taking it.
Give it a nice hello. Hi. You know, then you're going to slam it on the cutting board. Then you're going to turn it around, and you're going to slam it again on the cutting board. Then you are going to roll. You're going to roll. Now, I know this is so therapeutic, isn't it? Right. And I know, it's like a hand massage for a lemon. And a good rule of thumb, everybody, is that every lemon will yield you about 1.5 tablespoons of juice per half. So that means 3 tablespoons per lemon. So you don't need to squeeze it into a little jar and then measure it. Just have faith. All right, just have faith. And so we are going to just squeeze the lemon into here, and this is a wonderful tool. I love my lemon squeezer. I mean, who doesn't like squeezing things, right? I mean, squeezing is a good thing, right, Marita?
Yes.
All right. It's a good thing. That's right. And thank you so much. And we're just going to squeeze that on in. Squeeze. And we'll do one more squeeze. And next, in our Rawcho sauce, is going to go one of my favorite anti-inflammatory things in the whole world, some wonderful garlic. Some delicious, wonderful garlic. And I hear people say, well, I can't eat garlic because it makes my breath stink. But any of you that have taken my classes say, well, you eat garlic and have your lover eat garlic and then you stink together. All right? It's a good thing, right? And you like garlic, right, Alicia? Oh my gosh, yeah, garlic, it's a good thing, yes, as Martha Stewart would say, right? All right, and so we're just putting that garlic in, and because you all seem really spicy, we're going to put just maybe a little bit extra garlic in there because we're doubling the recipe. The next thing we're going to put in is the wonderful jalapeno. Jalapeno, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I say jalapeno. I don't know. And so this is a green jalapeno pepper that we're going to put in. And what I always do when I cut my jalapeno is I remove the seeds and I remove the membrane because that's where a lot of the heat is. And I don't want to overspice anybody in here. So we've already chopped up our jalapeno and we're just going to put it in because we're going to be using some jalapeno later. Is everybody okay with that? Yeah. Okay, nobody's worried? All right, and you can see what I also do is after I remove the membrane and seeds, we run them under cold water. So a jalapeno is wonderful, and we want to decrease inflammation in the body. And one of the best ways to decrease inflammation in the body is through spices, because we're trying to lower our sodium, right? Because too much sodium is going to cause high blood pressure, which leads to stroke, and then your kids are going to have to take care of you the rest of your life, and we don't want that, right? So, okay, all right, okay. I just do it to make sure if there's any extra seeds that I get them Right, that I get them off. Okay, so the spices that we're going to use are some paprika, but if you really want to make it sexy and add a little bit more of a chipotle flavor, you can add smoked paprika. It doesn't mean it's been smoked or heat treated. It's just a particular type of pepper that has a smoky flavor that they call smoked paprika. How many of you like paprika? You all like it? Right? Anybody Hungarian in here? eat a lot of paprika.
One in the crowd.
Oh, that's right. That's wonderful. That's great. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a teaspoon, because I'm doubling the recipe, a teaspoon of the smoked paprika and just the regular paprika. And I don't like to usually just be regular. I like to be a little out of the box with this. And we're almost done with this recipe. The next spice we're going to put in is chili powder. Now, when I say chili powder, I want to be really clear. I'm talking about the chili powder used to make chili that has cumin in it, that has some black pepper in it, right? Not just ground up chilies. So we're using the chili powder, and you can buy it, and also check on the back to make sure it's not just a ground up chili, because the flavor profile, because Rawcho sauce is kind of a Latin flavor profile, and that's what we want to create. And yes, folks, we are using a lot of chili powder in this, but don't worry. And when it comes to spices, I was just teaching in Kaiser Pleasanton the other day, and people were like, Lisa, where do you get your spices? And I like to buy my spices in bulk. A great place for you all to go get your spices in bulk is at Rainbow Grocery here in San Francisco. Do not buy your spices at the dollar store, okay? Because first of all, they're in BPA plastic, they've been irradiated, and they're coming from China, and God knows how old they are. So they've probably lost all of their flavor profile and their volatile oils. And in my class, I also say to people, go through your spice cabinet. If you have spices older than your children, get rid of them, okay? They're no good. And they're like, well, they look okay. And I'm like, well, spices in the olden days didn't used to have expiration dates because people thought, oh, you can use spices forever. But the general rule of thumb is about 2 years, and you want to store them in airtight glass containers for optimal usability. All right, and now we're just going to use just a little bit of salt in here. Just a little bit of salt. Okay, just a little. We don't need much. And the salt that I like to use is the Himalayan pink salt. And we're going to blend this, and then we are going to add one of our secret ingredients. Well, not really a secret because you have the recipe in front of you. So, okay, want to take the lid off of that for me? Thanks. Okay, so we've broken down the peppers, and the peppers are mostly liquid. And look, we've got this beautiful, beautiful red deliciousness here. And now we're ready to add our vegan dairy. So the vegan dairy or vegan milk comes in the form of cashews. And these cashews have been soaked in pure water, not tap water, for about 2 hours. And we are going to just go ahead and put them in there. Okay, and then we're going to add the vegan cream. And I think you all know what that is. The macadamia nuts, that's right. So, we're going to blend this up. Okay. Look at that. Wonderful. Now we're ready for our mac nuts. But I'm just going to add a little bit of this because I see we have a full house. People that are interested in the no oil movement here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that extra bell pepper in there, and we'll just do it. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now, some people might say, well, macadamia nuts are expensive. Well, I'll dispute that argument because you're all worth it, because you're all amazing badasses that deserve the best food on the planet, right? And also, this is a little goes a long way. We only need 1/4 of a cup for a recipe, and that's not that much, okay? And it's so much better than having animal secretion cream, you know. So we don't want to say that. Somebody said to me, don't say that, Lisa, you'll upset people. Well, I'm sorry. I stand by what I say. Okay. I'm such a radical, that's right. Okay. All right, so we are going to now blend it up. Okay. And our Rawcho sauce is almost ready. Can you wait? Oh, it's so exciting. Oh my gosh, look at that. I can put in a little water as needed just to smooth it out. Okay, oh my gosh. Okay, look at this. Oh my gosh, it's all nice and creamy. It's begging to be eaten, isn't it? It's begging to be eaten. But as a chef, I have a rule. And my rule is I always taste it before I serve it to you. And don't trust a chef that doesn't eat their own food. Rule number 1. Secondly, don't trust a chef with long fingernails who prepares your food without gloves. That's rule number 2. Right, Alicia?
Yeah.
This is great. I know, I'm sorry. You know, Susan knows what I'm saying. All right, this is delicious. I'm just going to put just a tiny bit more salt. It's good for me, but I think you guys might like it with just a little more salt. And I'm going to put in another jalapeno. Is that okay, everybody? Yeah. To give it a little bit more of a kick, because who doesn't like having a little bit of a kick in their life? And just one more garlic. Is that okay? We'll just put one more garlic in there. Okay. All right. And should I put a drop more water in? All right. Okay. And by the way, the water has come all the way from Pleasanton. This is, I know, yay, Pleasanton. This is reverse osmosis water. I believe that this is the best water. I mean, spring water, of course, when you can get it, folks. But if you can't get spring water, reverse osmosis is wonderful. It takes all the junky stuff out of your water. Distilled water is good, but for God's sake, please don't drink tap water. For a $25 Brita, you can filter your water fine enough. Okay. So let's see here. Oh my gosh, look at this amazing Rawcho-ness. Look at this amazing Rawcho-ness, everybody. Woohoo! And I'm going to taste it for you. And we are going to serve this to you. Delicious, you're going to love it. We're going to serve this to you with carrot, celery, and an organic corn chip. What do you think about that, everybody? Yes, it's wonderful. Okay, here we go. All right. Now we're ready to move on to the next thing. Are you all ready for the next step? Yep. Okay. Okay, let me take a drink of water. All right. Let me take a drink of water here. Okay. Oh, you know, I didn't get to do this at the beginning, but I have to turn this on. Woohoo! Yes, I did.
I just love you.
I just love you. I do this because I turned 50 about 2 months ago. Turned 50. Is anybody else here 50 or over? Woohoo! I mean, do you feel good as a plant-based 50 in their 50s? Yeah, that's right. And I'm telling you, eating plant-based makes you hornier. So, like, there's a popular misconception. There's a popular misconception that once you reach a certain age, you lose your libido. But eating plant-based, you keep it forever. That's right. Woohoo! Just go on. That's right. All right. That's right. Okay, everybody. I'm sorry, I just have to say it.
Do it. That's fine.
That's
the truth, right?
That's the truth. Okay. All right, and then we can rinse this. We'll rinse this and wash this out. Tell them to wash that out, please. Thank you so much. All right. So, this next recipe, I call it oat cheese, but this is not like a typical plant-based cheese, because most of the plant-based cheese out there, the number one ingredient is what? Nuts and oil. Right, nuts and oil. So this is a little bit out of the box. It's kind of a cheesy oat spread. It's kind of a cheesy oat spread. So we're not using any nuts. We're not using any oil. We're not using any soy. So be open to that, okay, before you try this. Is everybody open to it? So we're thinking out of the box. Out of the box. So one of the first things that is going to go into our wonderful recipe is the wonderful, beautiful yam. Yams are so absolutely good for you. They're good at stabilizing your blood sugar, and they are delicious. Who doesn't love yams, right? Right? And so we cook the yams, and we are going to mash them up. So Alicia, you want to get these ready for me? Yeah, we'll just kind of peel them, and we're going to put some wonderful yam-tasticness in there. The next thing that is going to go into our recipe is something you can all see at Trader Joe's, and these are roasted red peppers. How many of you have seen these before? Right? And so these roasted red peppers, they happen to be in like a vinegar. You don't want them in oil. You want like in like a vinegary base. And so we're going to open this and drain off the liquid. Well, I'm kind of...
We have a very wonderful lady here who's teaching us an awful lot of good things for our health. Could you please have a little more quiet in the room?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to put the roasted red pepper in the blender here. And then this liquid is not going to go in. This liquid is done. We're not going to put it into our oat cheese. But we're going to put in a cup of water. And it's good to have the liquid in the blender, in the bottom of the blender. What do you all think about the Rawcho sauce? You're liking it? Okay, good. Good, I love it. Okay. And while that is, before I do anything else, I want to get the liquid cooking on the stove. And that is going to come to a shock for some of you. Now, this, I don't want you to be scared. I say that a lot, Alicia, because sometimes I pull out things that are scary. I pull out scary things. But this, this is agar. How many of you have heard of agar? Now, right, I'm not talking about the thing that does your juice. This is agar, A-G-A-R. Now, if you don't like it like this, you might like it as flakes, like this. And also, the other name for it within the Asian community is kaitan. Am I pronouncing it right? Kaitan? Kaitan? Well, that's when you buy it at the Asian market, they may know it as kaitan versus agar. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take off a chunk of this, and it looks kind of like a sponge, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to use this as our thickener. So instead of putting coconut oil in the pan, instead of using nuts, we're going to use a little bit of liquid agar in the pan, and it's so easy to be able to do this. So we're just going to put in some water. Here we go. And we want to make sure that list is circulating because you all want to go to Elizabeth's and my Halloween party, right? Okay, so we want to make sure that list is circulating so you all get that information. So we've got our wonderful water here, and then I'm just going to take the agar and just kind of break it up. And this is going to cook for about 5 minutes on our burner. So Alicia, be careful. Don't get too close.
Don't kill me over here.
No, I won't kill you.
Set me on fire.
I won't. And so I'm just going to press that down. And what happens is, I'll just let you all see here in the mirror, is it's going to soak up the water and it's going to break down into little weird ribbons of algae. little weird algical ribbons. Doesn't that sound kind of interesting? Algical. I don't know if that's a real word or not. I don't know.
Google that.
I don't know. We can see. So we've got our roasted red peppers in here. Now we're going to put in our jalapeno because we want to create a really nice flavor profile. And I'm going to serve the oat cheese chuyu on a Milton's cracker. So the cracker is not gluten-free. So, but that's how I'm going to serve it. And then I'm going to serve it with some pickled jalapenos on top. Is that all right, everybody? Okay. And here's a little spoon, Alicia, that they can do that. Okay. So we're going to next put in 1 cup of our wonderful yam, and I'll just kind of press it.
I have a question. Is the yam cooked already?
Yeah, the yam is cooked. It's cooked yam. So we're just going to I'm just going to put it all in. Is that okay, everybody? Because I don't want to go home with a little piece of yam back to Pleasanton. Who wants to do that, right? I know. That's kind of like lame-o. That's kind of lame-o to do that. And now we're ready to put in our oats. So the oats that I'm using are not the minute oats, because those minute oats have been stripped of a lot of their nutrients. That's why they cook in a minute, okay? That's why they cook in a minute. So these are the old-fashioned oats. They're not the steel cut. They're the old-fashioned oats, okay? And so, right, and they're organic, of course. And so we are going to put a cup of oats in here. There we go. See? I know it looks like I'm making a science experiment, doesn't it? Kind of. Yes, my unique little fun science experiment here. My veg-tastic science experiment, we'll say that. And now we're going to put in our nutritional yeast. And nutritional yeast is kind of like noosh. Some people call it noosh. And this creates a wonderful, beautiful, cheesy flavor with a lot of things. And so, if I can ever undo it. Yeah, I got it. I know. You're here to be my hands, right? Okay. And so we're going to put a half a cup of noosh in there. And I get my noosh organic. And the Red Star is one of the best. And it's fortified with B12. You don't need to eat animal flesh to get B12, okay? You can get it through nutritional yeast and supplementation and other ways. Because I hear that argument all the time. Okay. All right. Now we're going to add our spices. So let me put out the spices that we're going to use. The first one is chili powder. We're going to have salt. And we're also going to have lemon juice. And Alicia, you want to get this lemon ready for me, my dear? Okay. I know this lemon is beckoning for you to, squeeze it for me. That's right. And we have the agar cooking over here, and I have this whisk, and so she's just going to give it some little whiskings every now and then to just kind of help to break that down. Okay, so we've got our nutritional yeast, and now we're ready to add our spices. So we have the chili powder here, we have the salt, we're also going to put in garlic powder, and then I have some onion powder over here, and we're going to put in some smoked paprika right here, and some white pepper. Now, I'm a fan of white pepper, and I find that it tends to be a little more digestible for the body. I can't open this. I can't. Oh, wait. Oh, I got it. And I find it tends to be a little bit more digestible, and you can buy white pepper at any Asian market in case you have trouble getting a hold of it. So we're going to put a half a teaspoon of the white pepper in here. Okay, beautiful. And then our salt. The salt for this particular recipe, we're using 1.5 teaspoons of the salt. And it may seem like a lot, but it's not really. Okay? And you need a little bit of the salt to counteract the bitterness coming from the raw oats. And now we're going to put in some onion powder Put a teaspoon of onion powder, and this is a wonderful spice. If any of you saw Sherry Soria's demo, you know that they use lots of onion powder in things. And there's nothing wrong with having a lot of onion powder or a lot of garlic powder. That needs to be a staple spice in the plant-based person's kitchen. Because remember, the more spice you have, the less salt you consume. So now we're going to put in our smoked paprika. We're not serving the crackers yet. We're not serving them yet. Okay, we'll put in our smoked paprika. Wonderful. And what I love about the smoked paprika is it has a really nice smoked smell. And then we're going to put in a half a teaspoon of chili powder. Okay. All right, you got the lemon? You have my lemon juice, my dear? Okay, and how many tablespoons of juice are we going to get out of the lemon, everybody? 3, that's right. So we're ready. We're ready to go ahead and put that in. And then finally, we're just going to put right on the top a half a cup of water. So we have some of the water on the bottom to get the blender going. And we've got some water here. And now we're going to blend it up. Okay? Now, what I like to tell people is don't be scared. So you may see some scary things happening in my demos, but I always say I am a professional and I do know what I'm doing. Okay, so, all right. Okay. All right, so we start our blender on low, and then, how's that going, Alicia?
Good.
Okay, go ahead and do it a little more. Okay. Okay. All right, and so now that we have this wonderful liquid mixture of all these wonderful good things, and in this recipe, I don't have any garlic, but if you wanted to put garlic, you could put garlic in it. So now we are ready to add the melted agar. All right, the melted agar. And let's pretend it's ready. All right, we'll pretend that it's ready. Okay, and thank you, dear. And this is, you can see it's all broken down. Those of you in the mirror, look in the mirror. Okay. And then we just pour it in here. Okay. And then we want to wipe that out, Alicia, because we're going to use that for the next thing. Okay. And we're going to blend this together. All right. Okay. And I'll get my little dish here. All right, and now we have a Veg-tastic, oil-free, gluten-free, nut-free, cheesy liquid. All right, so what are we going to do? What are we going to do with this, everybody? Well, we just end up pouring it into a BPA-free container. That's why I love Pyrex. It's fabulous, okay? And you can pour it into those too, my dear, because then we need to wash that out. All right? And here's the lid, too. And then what we do is we take it, and we go like that to get the air bubbles out. So anytime you add agar to things or oil, the air bubbles are going to come to the surface. So you need to get those air bubbles out, just like this. Then it goes into your refrigerator. And then do you want to know what happens, everybody? Okay, so then after... Right, on top of the cracker with the cheese that was in the refrigerator. The one that was in the refrigerator. Yes. Mm-hmm. On the cracker, but not to the edges with the pickled jalapeno. And then, everybody, what happens is you get a solid cheesiness. You get a solid cheesiness, and then... Oh, I need to use my knife. I need to use my knife for it to come out. And then... we just go around like this, and then you're going to get, yes, like an ocello, I guess you could say, right? You get like an ocello. So this is not like a dia that you're going to shred or that you're going to grate or things like that. But this makes a nice substance-binding spread that you can put on your crackers, that you can eat with vegetables and not have oil. And Dr. McDougall will be happy. Dr. Furman will be happy. Dr. Lynn from yesterday will be happy. And Dr. Campbell and Esselstyn will be happy with this type of cheese. So those cheeses that are out there that are full of oil and that are full of fat and nuts and all of that, it's okay to have a little bit of this. But wouldn't you rather have this than this? This or this, right? This or this. Bigger is better, that's what I'm trying to say. And here, they can spread some on the crackers, and then we'll serve it with just a little bit of the pickled jalapeno. You want to monitor that, all right? And then I need my blender, Alicia, so I can do the next demo. All right. So, for this demo today, I said that it was easy cheesy. Now, some of my jokes are cheesy, so I admit that. I admit that. But we are going to go to our next cheesy thing, which is dessert, right? Everybody loves, hi, David. Hi. Everybody loves dessert, right? And who doesn't love cheesecake, right? Okay, well, the diet cheesecake out there is super high in fat and oil, right? Right? But you want to say something about that, Trevor?
The diet stuff is not just high in oil, it's unhealthy oil that makes it harder for you to convert to get the omega-3s that you need. So, it's a matter of being oil. Not
Thank you, Janet. That's right. So, what we want to do is we want to have a cheesecake that we can feel good about eating a nice, healthy slice of it, right? That's what we want to feel good about. So before I end up making the filling, I want to tell you about the crust. Now, how many of you have made a date crust before? Okay, how many of you have never heard of a date crust? Okay, well, because of the limited time, I'm going to tell you, and you can write it on the back of the recipe. So what I do is I take a half a cup of almonds and a fourth a cup of walnuts. These are not nuts in oil or salt. These are raw, God from the tree nuts, okay? A half a cup of almonds, a fourth a cup of walnuts. And then I put just a little bit of salt and a tablespoon of lucuma. Now, I know hippie Trevor knows about lucuma, but some of you may not know about lucuma. And lucuma is a wonderful Peruvian root, and this is wonderful for stabilizing blood sugar, and it's naturally sweet. And it's delicious. And you're just going to put about a tablespoon of it in there in the food processor fitted with the S-blade and a little pinch of salt, and you're going to pulse it. Then the next thing I do is I take about 6 apricots unsulfured. And by the way, people, this is what an unsulfured apricot looks like. It doesn't look all orange and happy, full of sulfites that are going to disrupt your brain. This is what an unsulfured dried fruit looks like. So I put about 6 apricots in there and about 4 dates. And then I just hit the pulse button. And then I put a little bit of unsweetened coconut in there and you can put a little bit of water if you want. And then you have an amazing, amazing crust. And as a matter of fact, my friend Mary Lou is here in the front, and she is a big raw foodie and health food person. So I'm going to let her taste the crust. And you tell the audience what you think about it. Perfect. All right. And I didn't pay you for that, right? I didn't pay her for that. And so this type of pan is what we call a springform pan. Have you all heard of that before? And so this is a great investment. So we are just going to take some of the crust and we are just going to put it on the bottom of the springform pan, just like that.
So Lisa, you don't soak the almonds or anything?
No, you don't need to soak them. Yeah, it's unnecessary. I mean, if you want to soak them and then dehydrate them and then break them down, that's too much. We want life to be easy, right? Yeah, we want life to be easy. Okay, there's too much stress in life, so we don't want to have to deal with stuff. All right? And so let me get this. So we've got our crust and we've just kind of tapped it down into our pan. Everybody see that? Now, this is the time of year where people eat things encrouch or encrust, right? But that crust from Marie Callender's is full of hydrogenated oil and white flour. And you all know what Dr. Joel Furman says. The whiter your bread, the sooner you'll be dead, right? So the whiter your crust, it's going to be a bust, all right? So don't eat those vegan pastries with that white crust. Have a healthy date nut crust, or maybe add a little coconut. And you don't need the sugar because the dried fruit will mix nicely with the nuts, and then you get that healthy fat from the organic raw coconut, the unsweetened coconut, not that baker's coconut where they put sugar on it. This is just the unsweetened coconut. Okay, so now we're ready to make our cheesecake. So the star of this recipe is zucchini. Now, how many of you think you can have vegetables for dessert? Okay, now you all know you can have vegetables for dessert, right? We can all have vegetables for dessert. And so what I've done is I've taken the zucchini and I've peeled it. I've peeled the zucchini and we are ready to put it into the blender. So we're going to have 2 cups of zucchini, and you can see that this zucchini is cut like this to go into the cup. So they're this size pieces. If you cut it bigger, the recipe won't come out right. So you want them to be about, is some engineer in here? Can they tell me? Is this about 1/4 of an inch or a half-inch size? Okay, thank you, engineer. We appreciate that. Thank you. Sometimes I'm just not sure. So we'll pretend this is 2 cups of zucchini, all right? And this, of course, is organic zucchini. And now we're ready to add our lemon juice because we are creating a cheesecake, right? And so the lemon juice that we need is 3 tablespoons. How many lemons do I need? 1. That's right. That's right. I just need 1 lemon. So remember, we take it like this. Take it like this, and then we are going to roll our lemon. And I want to make sure that list is making its way. It's making its way around, because we want to make sure you all find out about the upcoming events and the Halloween party. So we want to make sure it's on the orange clipboard, the green paper on the orange clipboard. All right. So we've got that in there. And what do you think about the oatcello? It's unique, isn't it? With no oil. No oil. I'm telling you, people. Now, I often see raw chefs with really good intention, and they put these nuts and dates and all these good things in, and then they put a cup of coconut oil in their dessert. And I'm like, what? That's not always necessary. It's not always necessary. You can use a little bit, but you don't have to use a lot. Next, we're going to put in some wonderful vanilla extract. And I always feel go pure when it comes to vanilla extract. And we're also going to put in just a little bit of salt, just 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Okay. There we go. And now what happens when you add vanilla to things? Anybody want to? It's better, but what else? It makes it brown, all right? It makes it brown. So this is going to be natural colored, all right? It's not going to be like a stark angel white cheesecake that you get at the Cheesecake Factory. It's not one of those type of cheesecakes. All right, so we've got our vanilla in here and we've got our zucchini. And what I like to do is I like to blend this first to kind of get it liquidy. Okay. And now we're ready to add our other amazing ingredients. So the first one is going to be our sweetener. And our sweetener is going to come in the form of date paste. How many of you have seen date paste before? Okay? Don't be afraid of this. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. So what is so great about date paste is all it is dates and water. That's all that it is. Now I know this looks daunting. It looks kind of weird. It looks kind of weird, but just trust me, it's okay. All right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to put in the 2 cups of date paste. And now if you don't want to use date paste, You can use dates, but it's just so much easier to be able to use the date paste. Now, I like to make my own, but if you can't make your own date paste, what you can do is you can go to a Middle Eastern market and you can get it for about $5 or $6 a pound. And I'm not sure where the nearest Middle Eastern market is here in San Francisco. All right.
It's really hard to make when it takes dates and water. There's so many ingredients.
It's so hard. I hear people say, oh, it's just easier to use agave. But, you know, if you use this, your cheesecake will not be brown. That's a benefit. Because remember Dr. Lim yesterday was saying as a lawyer, you have to look at the good and you have to look at the bad. So the good is your cheesecake won't look tan. The bad is that this is just like taking regular high fructose corn syrup. Okay? So we did a cost-benefit analysis, I guess, of it, right, so to speak. All right, and then we're going to put our beautiful date paste in there. All right. And this, huh?
You know, your zucchinis are fruit.
Uh,
Just have seeds. You said you were making it with vegetables.
So a zucchini is a fruit?
It is.
Oh my gosh. Holy shamoly, I think that's maybe a controversial issue. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to blend this up. Okay, use the tamper. Okay. You know what? This goes with the other one. It goes with the other one. So I'll just do it with this. Okay. I'll just do it with this, the way Sherry does it. Okay. This is just a demo, folks. This is just a demo. I don't want to use the spatula on here. Okay? And so then we're going to add some macadamia nuts, which is the cream, and we're only putting in a half of a cup of macadamia nuts. Just a half of a cup of them. All right. And then we are getting ready to...
Look at that.
Okay. We're going to add our wonderful coconut. And so this is coconut butter. And all this is they take the coconut meat. You want to open this up, Alicia? Thanks. And all they do is take the coconut meat and they press it into butter. That's it. And so that is what we are going to put in here. Just a half of... Thank you. It is warm? Is it? How warm is it? Is it very warm? Okay. And look at that. It's all just nice and creamy. Okay. Did everybody get the oat cheese? No? Okay, are we making more, Elizabeth? Not everybody got it. There's plenty. Oh my God, I don't know. I guess I am a little popular. I don't know. All right, so we're just putting this in. Our beautiful... It's coming. They're working fast. So we've got our beautiful coconut butter that we're going to put in there. And then we have one other raw-tastic ingredient that is going to go in here. I'm going to add a little bit more water. Let me see. I just need a little bit of water. Okay. So we're going to blend this. They're getting me water. Okay? While they're getting me water, I just want to tell you about another ingredient that goes into this recipe, and it is some Irish moss gel. And this is a way, without oil, that we can add some thickness to our cheesecake. So what I do is I take the Irish moss, I soak it for several hours, and then it gets like this. And then I blend it in the blender with some water. And then I go ahead and I make this beautiful gel out of it. You can see this beautiful gel, everybody? Okay, and we're going to add some of that gel to the blender. And we're not going to add a lot, but just a little bit to make it thick enough to, and see, it looks kind of like a little bit like an applesauce. So we're going to put like 1/3 of a cup in there. Yeah, did you have a question?
Yeah, what's the difference between agar and the Irish moss?
So the Irish moss is a different type of seaweed than the agar. And the Irish moss can generally be consumed raw. It can generally be consumed raw.
Can they be used interchangeably?
Well, the agar needs to be cooked, and the Irish moss is generally done raw or in the dehydrator. Right. And we're doing a raw cheesecake. Okay. Okay. I can't, Alicia. Okay. And there's one last ingredient that we're going to put in there is a little bit of lecithin. And the lecithin helps to bind the fat. So you know we have a little bit of the fat in there from the nuts and a little bit of fat from the coconut. So that's where we're just going to add a little bit of the lecithin in there. And this is a non-GMO lecithin. If you want, you can use a sunflower lecithin if that's what you prefer. All right, and we're just going to, I wish I had my plunger, my regular plunger. But see, we're just going to get this all nice and, okay. Okay. We'll add a little more water. Okay. We'll try it one more time here to get it. And we're mixing in the coconut, the nuts, the dates, and the Irish moss gel into this nice thickness. Okay. Okay. We're almost ready. We're almost ready there with it. Alicia, can you come over here and help me? Okay. All right. And we want to make sure that everybody gets the oat cheese.
Okay.
All right? That everybody's getting it because we want to get this smooth.
Okay.
We want to get this smooth. Okay. And so let's try to blend it.
All right.
All right. Let's see. Okay. I don't think that's long enough. You're going to have to stir it. Yeah. And then turn it off and stir it again. Okay? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll just do one more stir, and then you'll get to see something really amazing.
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, we thank you for this. I know we only have like a few more moments while we're doing this. So, and then we'll get the cheesecakes out to you in just a moment. And so what I like to do is after I put the cheesecake in here, I chill it till it gets hard. And then I like putting a fruit spread that has no sugar in it, like the organic all fruit spread on top. And then you have a beautiful, raw, amazing cheesecake that's low glycemic. So let's go ahead and stir it. Okay, that's good enough. All right, we're just gonna do this. And so then you take the beautiful cheesecake batter out of the blender, and it's nice and thick and looks like this. And then you just go ahead and put it into your mold. Like this. And then, Alicia, get me one of the little cheesecakes to show everybody. See? And then it's just going to be like this. And you are going to have an amazing, wonderful dessert that you're able to pop up from the top. Oh my gosh, look at that, everybody. Isn't that great? Now, I know that it's brown, but it's brown goodness. It's natural. It's natural goodness. And then you put the fruit spread on top. And see, then you have like a little baby cheesecake. And because of the popularity of this, everybody who came in got tickets. And those with the tickets will get the cheesecakes first, because we only have about 70 of them. Okay? And before you pass out the cheesecakes, and if any of you can share with your partners, then that would be awesome. But what we want to do, hold on, we'll make it work. We'll make it work, everybody. We'll make it work. So I appreciate all of you being here today, and I thank you all for allowing me to vegicate you. So I want everybody to get a sticker that you've been vegicated by Chef Lisa, and of course Alicia is with me, and we are available to help you further your vegetation. If you don't know how to get your kitchen in order, we'll help you. If you don't know what your nutrition is, we'll help you. If you don't know how to cook, we'll help you, and we'll love you, because you're awesome badasses. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. And we'll give out the cheesecakes to the people. So the people with the little numbers, just come by the window and we will bring it over to you if you've got a number.